Hello everybody and welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today is another educational video towards hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's and education around medication. So kind of want to talk about T4 and T3 medication, why T4 sometimes isn't enough. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Dominica, or people know me as Defined by Dom on Instagram, and I'm a nurse and functional health coach. And I work with women with all sorts of hormonal issues, but mainly hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, but also PCOS, menopause, etc. And I've been through my Hashimoto's and hypothyroidism journey, and now I help others with theirs. So I want to talk about T4 and T3 because it's something that's not spoken about enough. Most women get given levothyroxine when they're told they're hypothyroid, and that's it. And sometimes they don't feel better. And this is the reason why. Everything that I'm going to talk about today is the reason why. So a lot of people will be on thyroid medication if they have hypothyroidism, but they will still feel like they're exhausted, brain fog, fatigue. They'll get all the symptoms, but they will get told that their lab results are normal. And because the only thing that the GP will test for is your TSH and your T4, and they will skip out the T3, reverse T3 and antibodies. And for a lot of people, it isn't that they're medicated, it is how they are medicated that is the issue. I've seen women from anywhere between 12.5 micrograms of levothyroxine to as high as 350 micrograms, which is ridiculously high, and it is so dangerous to be on such a high dose. So today I want to talk about T4, T3, combining the two together, and why some people might feel worse on T4 alone. So just a quick disclaimer before we start, this is not me advising anybody, I'm just educating you. So I don't want anybody to stop the medication or do anything based off this on their own. I would obviously speak to your GP or your endocrinologist about this first. This is solely for educational purposes. So first of all, let's talk about T4, which is your levothyroxine, okay? T4 is your storage hormone. It is not your active hormone. And what your body's supposed to do is convert T4 into T3, which is the active hormone that affects your energy, your mood, your digestion, your hormones, so on and so forth. And the biggest assumption in conventional medicine, so basically what your GP and endocrinologist does, is that if we give somebody T4, that person will be fine and it will convert into T3 perfectly. Now, with some people that is the case. However, a lot of people do struggle to convert T4 into T3, which will then mean that the T3 levels will drop. T3 is actually far more important than T4. T3 is actually far more important than T4 because that is the hormone that tells your body to burn fat. It regulates your temperature. It produces energy and supports your brain function as well. And that means if your T3 is low, even though your TSH is fine, your cells are still underpowered, which means that your body is not going to respond the way that you want it to, and you're still going to experience these symptoms. So when your GP is telling you, your labs look fine, your TSH is fine, and you're still so confused as to why you've got brain fog, why you feel so fatigued, this is more than likely one of the reasons why. And this is the part most endocrinologists and GPs won't explain to you, okay? And a lot of people will feel worse on T4, and here's why. First of all, what we want to look at is poor conversion, okay? So under eating, overtraining, stress being too high will affect conversion from T4 into T3. And what that will look like on bloods is either high to normal T4, low T3, and then all the symptoms that you can think of. Reason number 2 is your reverse T3, which is different from your T3 alone. So when your body is stressed, it can convert T4 into reverse T3, which is the inactive form that blocks T3. And that is the most common in things like overtraining, autoimmune diseases, undereating, putting a load of stress onto your body as well. So by loading up on T4, you are actually going to make things worse because you will make the reverse T3 higher and it will block the T3 coming in. Reason number 3 is cellular resistance. Now, some people won't respond well to T4 on a cellular level, which means that despite taking T4, the hormone itself is struggling to get through and into the cells, even if your blood work looks like your T4 is okay. So this is where kind of combination therapy comes in very handy, and that's a combination of T4 and T3. Now, I know in the UK, T3 is not used by your doctors and endocrinologists. Like through the NHS, you have to go private for this to be accepted. They say it's dangerous, but it really isn't. What's dangerous is not supporting your thyroid the way it needs to be. So I know other countries like the US, etc., allow you to use T3. I've used T3 in the past myself as well when I was on medication, and personally, it was life-changing. So adding the medication there is not to, you know, mask the issue. It's to support you whilst you work on the conversion issue in itself in the first place. Now, who would benefit from a combination therapy of T4 and T3? Well, it's people with low T3, high reverse T3, when your labs look normal but you still don't feel okay, and other things like autoimmune diseases like Hashimoto's, obviously conversion issues from T4 into T3, and if your symptoms are not improving whilst you are still taking T4. But what I am saying here is this does not fix the issue, it does not fix the root cause, but what it can do is put the brakes on to help your body whilst you are working on healing on your reverse T3 and your T3 itself. So even if you're taking the medication and your labs are stable, you don't want to be on them for life, because eventually your thyroid will slowly start packing in, okay? And it's going to require more medication, as it's going to, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's going to rely solely on medication, right? So your natural production is going to be suppressed. So you still need to work on the stress reduction. You still need to work on the root cause, not undereating, not overtraining, stress, like all these factors still need to be considered. Medication is there to help support you, not to fix the ongoing issue. I hope this video was useful and you now understand a little bit more about T4 versus T3, the combination, and just go and advocate for yourself, okay? Like if you can't get it from your endocrinologist or your GP, I would advise getting obviously a private doctor that can help you with that. And obviously for anybody that's looking for help around thyroid health, Hashimoto's, wanting to understand a little bit more, you can obviously inquire in the description below for one-to-one coaching. I'm more than happy to help. You know, I've helped thousands of women over the years, and everybody deserves to feel good, right? And who better to help you than somebody that's obviously qualified and has been through it themselves? Because I know a lot of people who have some knowledge, but they haven't experienced the symptoms and they don't really know what it feels like to go through all this. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. There's 2 videos going out every single week, so you don't want to miss any. So make sure you hit that subscribe button.